What's up, YouTube? It's your boy AyeQ back with another reaction video. And look, one of my loyal supporters sent me this video and asked me to give my take on it. So I'm gonna watch it and give my take on it. But before we get into the video, let me just say thanks to all my supporters. I appreciate you guys. We really want to keep this thing going. So if you guys appreciate the content, please take the time out right now and show some love and like and subscribe. Do so for your boy right now. All right, let's get into the video.
What's up, man?
Hey, can I bring this up a little bit? Is that okay? Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you remember me at all?
No.
Okay. So can I ask a quick synopsis of what you think the prescription is for society today for men? In a short version, what do you think they should do to be successful with women?
To be successful with women,
Yeah.
okay, are we talking about like getting a girl for a long-term relationship, just to get laid? What are we talking about?
Well, I think the only reason should be for a long-term relationship and marriage. I mean, that's Jesus Christ founded it. But I'm just curious what your prescription is.
Well, I've talked about this. I think guys have to have certain things in place, right, before they want to get into a long-term relationship. It's 5 things. So I would say 100K per year, 6 figures a year, 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in good shape, have at least 50 partners, right?
Damn.
Sexual body count.
Nah, that's kind of extreme though, because what's so crazy? The average dude can't even smash 10 different women. That's a fact.
All right. And then is that the last one?
And then there's one more, but that's fine. You could go ahead and
Okay.
engage with what I've said so far.
So the reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half.
What? That's yo, that's extreme. Bro, get a life. Find a hobby. Go outside and do something. Be productive in life, bro. If you sat there and watch a Fresh and Fit podcast every day for a year and a half, keep in mind these podcasts are like 2 hours long. You are too invested, bro. Because here's the reality. These dudes give you all the blueprint. Like, yo, this is the blueprint. But you're not supposed to absorb it that much, bro, where it controls your mind. That's yo, that's extreme, bro. That is extreme. That is wild. Get a life, fellas. Fellas, if this is you, get a life. To watch a man go back and forth with women every night, and this is no disrespect to Fresh and Fit, but that's their whole thing. You know, they be going back and forth with birds. I mean, that's their thing. But to watch that every night, that's a bit extreme, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Word. Bro, you sound like a bird. You trying to blame him for your actions? Nobody forced you to watch Fresh and Fit. That was your choice. See, that's the thing about a weak man. A weak man is not going to take any accountability. He's always going to blame. It's your fault why my life is messed up. That's bird energy, bro. That is bird energy right there.
Astray.
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable, and they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat him? So I think
Yo, that's wifey talking right there. His wife told him, yo, get your ass on that stage and defend women now. That's wifey talking right there.
So a question for you. You said you got out there dating and meeting women and stuff like
Yep.
that. And then you said that it kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
How did it hurt you specifically? Did you like just start? What happened specifically?
well, I started warring against my own flesh. It's like trying to fill an empty void.
Mhm.
There's a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of every man that can only be filled by God alone. Anything else you try to fill with that's not going to satisfy it.
Sure.
And I tried to do it with sex.
Yeah. So would it be fair? How'd you meet your wife?
We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast.
Okay.
And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here.
Yeah.
And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say?
Bro, how you met your wife, that was the question. Maybe I missed it. Let me take it back.
North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast. We actually had the #1 dating podcast in North and South Carolina called Who Hurt You Podcast.
Okay.
And I'm also friends with Fresh. I know him very well. I texted him before I came here.
Yeah.
And I know pretty much everyone on your crew. But
So y'all got a dating podcast? Yo, this is what I be saying, bro. The signs are always there, fam. He didn't answer the question how he met his wife, but what we do know is they got a dating podcast. So that means his wife is excited to speak about their relationship. That's not a good sign, buddy. A real, sacred, virtuous woman will not be comfortable on a podcast speaking about your relationship. I'm just keeping it real.
I was a heavy follower, and you actually inspired me to start the podcast, and I realized what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say that when you went through that experience, you were able to identify characteristics that you probably found as unredeemable and you probably wouldn't want to commit to, right?
In what way?
Well, when you were seeing these women, right, you probably started seeing patterns in how they behave, how they speak, or whatever. Maybe they're not qualified to be a wife. Because the thing is, right?
Well,
whenever-
I don't need that. I have the Bible for that. It tells me what to look for.
Yeah, but the thing is that you were able, and again, you're probably not going to notice it, but when you dated and dealt with all these women, you probably were able to identify characteristics that you were not fond of, or characteristics that would make a woman not a good candidate for a long-term relationship. And I think half the game is figuring out which girls don't qualify for marriage versus which ones that do. And clearly you learned a skill set on how to become attractive and get women, and then you're able to identify the things that you like versus the things that you don't like. And that only comes a lot of times with experience. Now, look, if a guy can go ahead and, find a woman as a virgin and be attractive and be able to understand how to navigate that, that's great in modern times. But the reality is a lot of guys don't. And I mean, even in your success story, you had to go through a lot of bad women to be able to identify your current wife as the one. So failures are good. They're good.
I mean, technically, this might sound crazy, but he should be thanking him. Because he's the reason why he found his wife. He told you, go through 50 women. And I'm pretty sure he said that so you can gain experience and learn female nature. So he found his wife, but he's now bashing him. Think about that. He followed his strategy. He found his wife, and his wife sent him to now bash the man who helped him found her. That's tough.
Yeah, failures, excuse me, failures in the sense of socioeconomic or maybe even relationship failures could be good, but there's a difference with what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're warned against our soul. Jesus Christ commands us to marry one woman. That's it.
Sure.
And what you were causing me to do was sin against myself, and that's the point I'm trying to get to. It's immoral.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
you got to
wrong.
take personal responsibility, bro. Because here's the reality.
No, I do, 100%.
Yeah, so
Very publicly, I
and
have in
that's-
front of
and
over
that's why-
40,000 people. I've
yeah,
done that.
yeah, great. But the point I'm trying to make is I teach guys a skill set, right? if I give you a gun and you shoot yourself in the foot, is that my fault? If I taught you how to properly use it, how to disarm it, disassemble it, you know, how to load the magazine in properly, all that. If I give you the skill set, then you shoot yourself in the foot, right? Is that really my fault? No, I just arm you with the skill set. Then you choose what you want to do with it. Now, obviously,
Well,
you
no,
wanted to
it's
go on
predatory.
you wanted to
because men
go
are
toward
hurting.
a sex escapade, which is, I guess, fine. But the reality is, I armed you with the tools to become an
Bro.
attractive guy, and you utilize that. You can't come back and get mad
No,
and
you
say,
didn't arm me
"Oh,
with that. I became attractive when I followed Jesus. That was it.
oh, okay." Now it's changing the story.
No, I'm not changing any story. It's one thing to be attractive in the sense of gaining sexual partners, but it's a completely different thing to be attractive to someone that wants to marry you and spend their life with you and have kids with you. Those are two completely different sexual attractions. If I walk in here looking like Thor, I'm 6'2" and shredded, obviously I'm going to be attractive to women, but it doesn't mean that that's a relationship that produces value for me and my family.
And again, everyone is different, right? For you, it took some time, and you found God, and you shifted. But the reality is, I gave you the skill set, and then you choose what you want to do. That's up to you, and you made that decision, not me. I just taught you what to do.
Exactly.
How to do it.
It's on me 100%. I'm not placing
Okay.
blame on you. But what I'm telling you, from someone
And
that
here's
listens
the other
to you,
thing,
I'm
too,
trying
that
to
you
let
gotta
know
understand.
what happens when you speak to people and tell them to do these things.
Here's the other thing too. Like, now you're operating with 20/20 hindsight. You went through it. You experienced
Correct.
it. You
That's
know.
true.
A lot of guys need to get their hand burned sometimes to figure out how things work. Because let's
Why?
be honest, men are very stubborn.
Why do
So-
they need to do that? If they find a God-fearing woman, they wouldn't do half the stuff you're talking about.
Well, they got it. Here's the thing: finding a God-fearing woman in today's day and age is a lot harder said than done, right? So
I did it,
Yeah, it's a lot harder.
and so
said
did
than
everyone
done.
in my whole family.
You think you did it, buddy. You think you did it, but you don't know for certain. You don't know for certain because based on the fact that your wife is comfortable on a podcast, buddy, that is very telling. And you never said how you met your wife. I wonder why.
So it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's anecdotal from your perspective. But again, you learned the skill set. You were able to find a wife, and I'm happy about that. But you got to take a little bit of accountability here and understand that you basically got a loaded gun and shot yourself in the foot. And you're trying
Correct.
to blame me for it.
No, I'm not blaming you. Like I said, I take accountability.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Okay.
But look, nothing against you. Like I said, I've hung out with Fresh 8 or 9 times recently. I love them, and I think your heart is in the right place. But I just wanted to give you from someone that actually listened to what you were saying to do, read your book, and it didn't work. That's all I was trying to do for you.
Well, actually, it did. You didn't notice it yet.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to identify your wife and have been able to find her and figure out what characteristics you like and don't like, right? Unless you went through that.
My wisdom came from the Bible, not you. But I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, son. Yo, this is why a simp is the most dangerous man on this planet, bro. Now, as a man, you should definitely find God, absolutely. But also as a man, you got to be able to take accountability. You got to understand you're responsible for your actions as a man. Just off the simple fact that he tried to blame another man for his actions that led him to find what he was looking for, it's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy. But this is a man who is controlled by his wife. It's mad obvious based on the fact that he came and he blamed Myron. Like, yo, it was your fault. That's Wifey talking. That's his wife, like, trying to tell him how bad of a person Myron is. She's probably in his face with that type of shit every day, to the point that he felt that he needed to confront Myron. But this is the life of a simp, people. A simp and a bird is on the same wavelength, bro. They are vibrating on the same wavelength, the same frequency. It's all a mental thing. And this is why you can't save these simps, bro, because he's thinking he found a wife, but he don't even know that he's probably just being used. Just off the strength that, yo, podcast with your wife, and you found God? This right here is sad, man. But please leave your thoughts in the comments. It's your boy AyeQ. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm out.
If you haven't yet, go get you some of that merch. You all already know, don't feed the birds. That's what it is. We don't feed the birds over here. So if you rock with your boy, go get you some of that good merch.